the last lap of the race. When we began, we gave us the strategy of success. You want to get the best in administration, the strategy. You want to get the best in life as a student, the strategy. And we said there shall be showers of blessing, but you need to set the stage for the showers. That strategy was the word or mnemonic prudent was used. Number one, prudent. A prudent person is a person that has foresight. And then based on that foresight, the person avoids errors and mistakes. He sees far, she sees far. And being able to see far, the pitfalls of life on the way are all dodged. If you're not prudent, you are bound to fall, you are bound to get into errors that could be very, very calamitous. So we look at the word prudent, and we said, for you to set the stage, you have to be a person of purpose. Somebody that has an objective, something he or she is pursuing. You also have to be a person of responsibility. You can't afford to be a freelance person if you want to be great. We told us what a great man said, which agrees with what the Bible wants us to know. That responsibility is the price of greatness. I think it was Churchill that said it. You want to be great, you have to be responsible. You can't be a freelance person, a person that doesn't want to be controlled if you want to be great. You have to be disciplined, follow rules, follow instructions, be under authority. In the year 1992, thereabout, there was a program that was held in Nigeria by the Deeper Life, but it was an interdenominational program in which a great man of God came. This man is a worldwide evangelist, Peter Watchmen. And to the consternation of participants in that meeting, he testified that before he came for that program, he needed to take permission from his pastor. His pastor's name, nobody knows. He belongs to a local church, a small assembly. But he couldn't go for that international program without pastor's permit. That is discipline. That is a person that is responsible. You want to be great with God, you have to be responsible. Knowing that your actions, your words, your decisions could be, you could be called to account for them. Why did you do this? Why did you decide this? Why did you act this way? And that thing is a thing that natural self, the human person doesn't want. Human beings want independence, want freedom. But God doesn't want us to have that kind of freedom. If you want to be great with God, you have to put yourself under rule. Many people start churches today because they don't want to be under rule. But churches started that way. Our churches started out of human volition, out of human program. They are not in God's program. Churches in God's program teach discipline. And where there is no discipline, there is no direction. So you have to be responsible. A responsible person is accountable. You want to be great in life, you must be accountable. As a pastor, as a doctor, as a pharmacist, as whatever you want to be, you must be accountable. Accountable to God as well as to those placed above you. So we said you must be a person of purpose, person that is responsible, a person of understanding. We saw the children of Issachar. They were people that had understanding of the times, who knew what the times was, the information the times was selling, and then advise people appropriately. We must know the season that we are in. And for us as a church, we are at the edge of the church age. Edge of the church age. Whatever you are doing, you must do it with that consciousness that you are at the edge of the church age. The church age will soon end. And once it ends, God will face Israel again. Israel will be faced again by God. Those people in the church that didn't go in the rapture, what they see, they will take. The rapture is called the first flight. The first flight is sure, but the second flight is not sure. Second flight is they're going to see God after you have been killed. People cannot endure pains, and Satan uses pains against people. The Antichrist is going to deal with those people who were Christians who didn't go in the rapture. He's going to set up organizations to hunt after them. Rules and the decrees will be fixed to ensure that some people don't survive. And only very few people will be able to make it. If you can't make it under this kind of nice atmosphere of freedom of religion, my friend, you will. How do you make it then? I told us to go and look and read about what happened during the communist era, Soviet era, what they did to Pentecostal evangelical Christians in this area, from this area through Russia, through the some of the Scandinavian countries who were socialists, Lithuania and all those. Go and read and you have idea of what the Antichrist will do to those who didn't make the rapture. So be a person who understands the time. While you are studying your book, reading your book, studying the course, you are conscious that the rapture could take place at the classroom where you are studying. Could take place while you are in the hostel. At any point in time, the rapture could take place. Nobody knows the time. Some people will be sleeping when it will take place. Some will be awake. And some people may be at the point of backsliding when the rapture will take place. So if you have been following the Lord, and then the moment of wanting to accommodate the sin, and you try to commit sin, and the trumpet blows, it means that all your effort has actually been in vain. You are now going to pay with your blood. Your life must go if you must go to heaven. It won't be easy. So right here, you must be a person of understanding who understands the message and understands the time we are in. D stands for docility. You must be teachable. Any person that wants to get the best in programs like this must be like a child wanting to be taught. If the person is asking a question, that question is not out of pride, it's not out of strife, it's out of a clean heart that wants to be illuminated. Like a little child will ask a question to the daddy, to the mommy, to the auntie, to the aunt, uncle. And the child may ask that question many times because it's not clear, but not because he wants to show that aunt or auntie or uncle that he knows. No. The mind of a person who wants to go to heaven is the mind of a child. Jesus said in Matthew 18, except ye be converted, speaking to people who had left their profession to follow him. People that were not in the business of following the master. He still told them, except ye be converted and become like a little child, this little child, you will enter the kingdom of heaven. So somebody can become a minister, full-time minister. If the person is not converted, the person will not go to heaven. So we too must carry that heart of a child that wants to be taught. You must be teachable. E stands for expectation. If you don't expect, you don't receive. In fact, if you don't expect, when a blessing is sent to you, it will almost or most likely pass you by. We saw expectation as the hook of manifestation. Then we saw neatness, N for neatness. You have to be neat spiritually, you have to be neat physically. We said that cleanliness is an integral part of godliness. It is not secondary to godliness. Godliness goes with cleanliness. God demanded it, and spiritually too, it is just part of godliness. And we concluded with temperance, that you have to be temperate if you want to get the best. If you indulge in anything, you are going to be hindered in the pursuit of what you are looking for. Even the athletes, people that are involved in athletics, have to mind how they eat, how they sleep, ensure that they exercise in order to keep fit. Spiritually, you have also to be temperate if you must excel. So we saw those words and apply them. I want to remind you what I told you last time that I came. That the player that makes a team great is greater than a great player. A team. The player that makes a team great is greater than a great player. For example, in football, which is the most common sport game, you'll find each side has 11 players, a goalkeeper and 10. There are people who, if they are in the team, you'll find the team functioning well. Maybe they are in the midfield, you'll find them being able to distribute ball. And once they are in that team, you'll find the team performing wonderfully. Yet, their own names may not ring the bell. They may not score. Throughout the season, they may not score. But as long as they are in that field, you will see their team winning. Such people are not called great players per se, but they make the team great. There are people called great players who may be the attackers. Anytime they get ball, they dribble and hit the goal and what have you. Such people are called great players. There are a big price tag on them. They may be paid millions every month or every week, millions of dollars. Something like maybe this Ronaldo young man and all that. They are great players. But you find out that if they enter the field and the opponents can mark such great players, their side will not function well because they have been tied down. They are great players, but they are not as valuable as those players. Not that they don't know how to play, but they don't make their names don't ring bell. They don't score, but they know how to distribute balls and make their teams to win.